Hello. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the Doug Cow Show. And on today's episode, I'm going to be talking about a book called Nothing General About It. Love my how lithium and love saved my life on and off General Hospital by Maurice Bernard. So it talks about his childhood, about how he grew up and how he used to get beat by his dad, and how his dad really didn't like him showing emotion because, he was from I don't remember where he said he was from, but it was like some like Spanish place or Mexican place. I don't exactly remember, but anywho, so he was beaten as a child, and he was bullied at school. So he decided to stand up to the bullies, fight and stuff. But he had like a lot of anger and a lot of rage and stuff built up. Well, he was about 17, 18, and some dudes was hassling him and his crew or whatever, and like he told dudes, he's like, "Come on, I'll fight you all, I'll fuck y'all up." And his friend Manny saved him because he was like, "Bro, the motherfuckers had a gun and shit." And he was like, "Oh shit, I didn't see that." And like so basically so he pursued acting, and he got his job on General Hospital. He first got his job on All My Children, and that brings me to back to the fact that him and his dad had a fight one time, and his dad was like, he was like, "Hey Dad, I know what would make you happy, Dad, is if I was on a soap. That'll make you feel better. If I was on a soap opera, you would feel better if I was that way. If I was, on one of those, you feel a whole lot better about me. You wouldn't have such a big problem with me if I was there." So, he did end up getting a job on All My Children, and then he moved on to play Sonny in All My Children. So, he went, but actually, before all this, he had numerous flings with numerous girls, and so he met his current girlfriend and now wife, Paula. So Paula is basically his rock, and like he plays the character Sonny on General Hospital, and he is a big advocate for mental health awareness and bipolar education, because he was depressed. He was like, he was going through all these deep dark moments and shit, and like he didn't know what was going on. So he ended up going to a mental institution for a while when he was a kid, and he saw a psychiatrist, and the psychiatrists, they sent him to a doctor, and they finally figured out what was wrong with him. He was bipolar. And it's all about how he struggled with bipolar for all these years. That was a time where he almost killed I believe he almost killed his wife. Like, I think he like held a knife to her neck or some shit, and it was like, wow, bro, like, damn. Bipolar is some dangerous shit, yo. Like, for real, that ain't nothing to play with. Like, if you think you got that shit, or you think you know somebody who's got that shit, like, and bipolar is one of the biggest causes of suicide, because bipolar and anxiety and depression, like, they all go together. Like, I mean, of course they're separate things, but like a lot of times they all go together with shit. But so yeah, Nothing General About It, how love and lithium saved my life on and off General Hospital by Maurice Bernard. Really good book, really great book. I give it 5 out of 5 stars, So we talked about him and his wife. How the first baby, they ended up miscarrying. It was crazy. The whole book was just good and crazy all at the same time. So I would encourage y'all to definitely read this book. He, like I said, he talked about his wife. They lost their first baby, and then I think their second baby was born, and they had a code blue on him when they were in the room. Paula's mom, she turned out to be into drugs really, really bad, and it's so his friend Jeff, he ended up losing his best friend Jeff because something told him, because Manny called him and told him that Jeff was living with him, and Jeff talked to him and shit, and he was just like, hey man, what's going on, what's good with everything like that, and he was like, man, so he was like, wow, they were just talking shit, being cool and shit like that, and next thing you know, about an hour later, he gets a phone call that Jeff fell down the stairs and is unconscious. So he ended up dying in the hospital. He was in a coma and ended up just dying in the hospital and shit. It's like, wow, you never know how soon somebody can go away, man. Life is crazy, man. You think you have somebody forever, but nah, bro, that ain't the way that always goes. It's crazy. When we young, we think we invincible and shit. I can't get hurt. Nothing can ever happen to me, man. Nah. That's not the way that shit is, bro. But, yeah. Once again, really good book, man. Hope y'all have enjoyed the podcast. If y'all are enjoying the podcast, share it with your friends, subscribe to the podcast. You can find it on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn Radio. Pretty much anywhere you can get podcasts, that's where you can find the show. So once again, I appreciate y'all for listening and supporting me. If you want to leave feedback or leave comments, you can do so at do so at DOUGLAS@ROCKETMAIL.com. That address again is DOUGLAS@ROCKETMAIL.com. If you want to follow me on Twitter, or X as they call it now, you can do so at Douglas_Couch. That's DOUGLAS_COUCH. Like I said, man, I hope y'all enjoyed the podcast as much as I put it. As much as I enjoy putting it out for y'all. So I will talk to all y'all later, man. Peace. Y'all take care out there. Be easy. Peace.